Welcome to the Killer Innovation Show, the longest continuously produced podcast in history. Each week, Phil McKinney brings you the insights and strategies to amplify your creativity and innovation skills. Here's your host, Phil McKinney.
Welcome to this week's episode. We are shooting today's video from within the studio. Question I got after the last series of videos that I've been talking about, the redesign and the rebuild of my studio here in Colorado, is there a difference between an innovation studio and an innovation lab? Is there a difference? Some people use those terms interchangeably. In Silicon Valley, it was actually quite common, companies and organizations using the terms of a studio or a lab interchangeably, but they are distinctly different. Let me explain to you what the difference is. So an example of a lab, some of them that are very prominent, well-known out there, is like the Amazon Lab 126. Lab 126 for Amazon, that's where the Kindle came from, the Echo, and a bunch of their technologies. Then there's HP Labs, organization I worked very closely with when I was the CTO at Hewlett Packard. IBM Research. Those are labs. Examples of studios would be like IDEO or Frog Design or Red Design as another example. So, great. Those are some examples. But what really is the difference between a lab and a studio? So let's talk about an innovation studio first. It really is focused on transforming concepts into reality. So we've talked about the FIRE framework. We're talking about at the execution end of the project. You've done the ideation. You've worked out the target of what you want to try to execute on. That's where the studio kicks in. It serves really as the creative ally for your ideas. Its focus is on developing and launching new products, new services with very clear deliverables, whether that's a proof of concept or actually managing and overseeing the process of taking your idea and getting it all the way into manufacturing. It tends to use a design-centric approach. And very good studios that are out there will integrate into your process. So as you go through and you work out what it is that you want to go build, maybe you just don't have the skill sets, or you really want to bring in and really step up the game around the design concepts or the user experience or whatever it is around your products or services, that's where you would go do and engage with an innovation studio. So what's an innovation lab then? An innovation lab dives into uncharted territories. Its sole mission is to create breakthroughs. It really paves way for total industry redefinitions. It's the, I hate the term, but an out of the box thinking, and it really prides itself on being a safe space for experimenting. It's not tied to a specific product or service. Labs don't have specific targets of creating a product or service. That's a studio. A lab, it's out there pushing really the far end of the boundary. It operates really independently from the business objectives. It's really around deep exploration. Now, true labs, what I would call innovation labs, the vast majority of them are tied directly to the organization, like an HP Labs or an IBM Research. It's tied to an industry. There's industry labs that are out there. Academic research performed at universities and colleges around the world, or governments, like Sandia Lab or Lawrence Livermore Lab for the federal government. That's a lab. Now, let's take a look and compare these. An innovation studio really excels in design and product creation. They can do everything from creating a product concept to delivering you a finished product. Now, studios can range from being very small operations up to medium size. They they rarely become really, really large. Think of them as an extension of your organization. And they tend to be anywhere from 2 people up to maybe 100 or 200 people, but they don't become really, really large organizations. Innovation labs, they excel at that experimentation and exploration. To do that successfully, that requires meaningful dollars, tens, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, people, and an ecosystem. So, true labs, doing the research side of it, going off and doing things like fundamental science, like what happens at the pharmaceutical companies or companies like HP or Lawrence Livermore Labs with atomic energy and etc. Those require big resources, lots and lots of dollars. So you tend to see the labs much bigger, and they're again tied to an organization, academic, government, or industry. So what is it I'm building? You hear me talk about innovation studios. Well, my day job is I run an innovation lab. My day job is the CEO at Cable Labs. We are an industry innovation lab for the broadband industry. Been around 35 years. We focus on 3 to 8 years out. We have about 200 people. So that's a lab. That is an industry lab. It's funded by the companies that are in this industry. They fund the lab. The lab creates technologies, breakthroughs, working in long-range research areas that the industry then benefits from. Now, my personal space, where I'm standing right now, is my innovation studio. This is my personal space. Now, it's where I work on my own ideas, my own projects, along with helping others bring their ideas to reality. It's also a space where, as I am working on my own projects, I record them and I share that with you so that you can learn how to work on your own ideas and take those ideas and turn them into real products, real services. So back to my day job, Cable Labs, we build no products, we sell no services. That is not our mission. We are a lab. Studio, you build to put it in customers' hands, to make it real. And so this is my studio. I'm in the process of rebuilding it. I built it originally 8 years ago. This is where the podcast and the YouTube videos have been recording, for the last decade or so. It's going through a complete redesign, re-teched out with new technologies, new capabilities. I'm going to take you on that journey now, and so you can see what I'm going to do, but also more importantly, why I'm doing it and the decisions I'm making as I'm building out the studio. But hopefully, today's show answers your question on what is the difference between an innovation studio and an innovation lab. And they are distinctly different. So think about maybe your career if you're into innovation. Do you want to work in an innovation studio or do you want to be at an innovation lab? And understanding both is critically important. Language is important, and I get so frustrated with companies and organizations that think they can interchange an innovation studio and an innovation lab. So hopefully this was helpful. Let me know. Pop some questions down in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe so that you can keep up and go along with this journey as we completely redesign, rebuild this innovation 1,200 square foot innovation studio here in Colorado so that you can see everything we do, all the technologies we use, all the products and capabilities that we're planning to build into the space. This is a journey that's going to take some time. So stay with us, go with us, and I look forward to your comments, your questions, and your suggestions. If there's things you think I should put into the studio, put them in the comments below. And again, please subscribe, follow along, but we'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.
Podcasting nonstop since 2005, this has been the Killer Innovation Show on the Innovators Network.